Hey guys, this is Bigfoot Outdoors. Today I'm going to do my first tabletop knife review. The knife I was going to talk about is the knife that has been my primary EDC for the past 2.5 years. It has performed superbly in pretty much every test that I have put it through, and that knife is the SOG Flash II Combo Edge. There's a couple of different things I want to talk about this knife. First of all is the price point. Right now it's coming in at about $45 to $50, which I personally believe is a very good price for a knife of this quality. You can usually, just by shopping around on the net, you can find them for a bit cheaper. As you can see, it is combo edge. I bought this knife before I knew too much at all about knives at all, and so I think if I had the option before, I probably would have gotten just a straight edge, but I have been pretty happy with this combo edge. It severs fibrous materials quite well and has only need resharpened twice in the 2.5 years that I've had this knife. The blade itself is 3.5 inches long, and it is made of AUS 8A stainless steel, which I believe is a adequate steel. Its corrosion resistance leaves a little bit to be desired, and I've usually found myself sharpening this knife about once a week or so. But I think the knife holds up pretty well, the blade, and really, if you go into any steel that's a lot higher quality than this, you are going to see the price point just skyrocket. So I think for the price and for the mediocre quality the AUS 8A is, you get a pretty good deal. A couple other features on this knife. You can see right down there at the bottom you have a little hole for a lanyard. I toyed around with them a little bit. I used some hollowed out 550. They work pretty good. I just eventually took this one out. Another little feature is this right here, which I'll show you. You close the knife, and this is a lock. That's closed. Can't open the knife at all. I find it a little bit gimmicky. I've never actually had to use the knife, as this is very tough. You really can't just knock this blade open. You really have to push it. I know a lot of people just super glue the lock open so they can't accidentally engage it in their pocket, which I have done a couple of times. But I see it as mostly an unneeded feature, but SOG put it on there for a reason, so I won't begrudge them. Let's see. Oh, speaking, it is assisted opening, and that assisted opening is fast. Just a little. You'll see how far it opens there before the AO kicks in. Works great. Hasn't failed. Super fast and great when you have gloves on. It's awesome. Let's see, a couple other things. As I said, I've used this knife fairly heavily for about 2.5 years. Just these past few weeks, I've done some pretty heavy wood carving and whittling with it. Not really batoning, but just whittling really. And I did loosen up the blade a little bit. When I did this, then I can feel the blade. It's loose in there. It's shaking. And also, it was to the point where if I pushed hard enough to close the blade without disengaging the lock, I could close the blade, which obviously is pretty bad. So what I did is I took a little, can't remember if it's a hex or a Torx bit, but I found the right size, tightened this up a little bit, and it's pretty much back to normal now. That thing is really sensitive. You got to get it to right where you want it, because otherwise if you get it too tight, well, it didn't really happen there, but you can't really use the AO. But I have it, I think, just about right, where it'll work just fine. But otherwise, this knife has held up fantastic. I really love the pocket clip. It is originally set up for people who are right-handed. I am left-handed, but I've learned to carry my knife in my right pocket and draw it with my right hand. I absolutely love the deep carry pocket clip. It's just always sat really well for me, and it's worked out pretty good. That is about it. That's most of the outstanding features of this knife. As I said, I've used it for quite a while. The blades lasted. The AO has lasted without really loosening up. I've had a few problems with rust, but not too many. You get any major lint or anything down in there in the handle, you can just blow it out with compressed air. Oh, speaking of the handle, it is made of Zytel, which is a polymer material, which is supposedly very durable, and you know I can vouch for that. This thing has seen some hard knocks, and it's holding up pretty well. Pretty good amount of traction. You choke up on it, and you hold on pretty good. Your fingers don't slide around, which I like a lot. I've used a couple other knives. They're just flat stainless steel, and my fingers just move all over the place. But this knife, for as long as I've used it, it's held up pretty damn well. I would absolutely recommend it to anyone in the market for a mid-sized EDC folder. A lot of people go for smaller knives for their EDC, but I do include smaller knives, but I tend to like a good blade about 3.5 inches or so, which is what this is. That is my review of the SOG Flash II. If there are any questions, anything I haven't answered, please send me a PM or comment on the video, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And on a side note, one thing I have found and am restoring to its former glory is, as soon as I get it out, I will show you. One second. It is an Ulster BSA knife. I have no idea where this thing came from. I just found it in the basement. They stopped making this particular model in, I believe, 1968. I've done a little bit of research on it, not too much. This thing was covered in rust and beeswax when I got it a couple days ago. I've been starting to clean it up a little bit, haven't yet sharpened it, but that thing is just beautiful. Once I get it back to its former glory, I'll probably do a little video on it and maybe do a few cut tests, but this is a piece of BSA heritage, so I love it. Guys, this is Bigfoot Outdoors. Thanks for watching.